Hi, my name is Adebimpe Lekita, and welcome to the step-by-step guide to cake baking from the scratch. So let's dive into the ingredients. For this cake or for this recipe, we are going to use 2 cups of unsalted butter, 2.5 cups of granulated sugar, one oh three part 3-part level teaspoon of salt, 12 large eggs, 4 teaspoons baking powder, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of low-fat milk, 2 tablespoons vanilla extract, and half cup of raisins, including half teaspoons of nutmeg. Baking a cake from scratch is a rewarding endeavor that allows creativity to flourish while relying on precise measurement and techniques to achieve the desired result. So in this video, I will provide a guide to baking a basic vanilla cake using all required ingredients already mentioned. So the first step is creaming your butter and sugar. This very particular aspect of cake baking is very important. So we need to make sure we have this mixture well blended to the extent that it's light and fluffy. So in this bowl, you can see in the mixer we have the butter and the sugar, including the salt. The purpose of the salt is to give it a taste. I usually like salt in my cake. So whenever I'm eating a cake that doesn't have this salt, I really don't like it and I find it difficult eating such cake. So with salt, it brings out the real taste of the cake. So here we are going to let this mix for about 10 to 15 minutes to enable it um, light and fluffy. And as you can see, the speed I apply to this mixing is a medium speed. You don't want to use a very high speed. If you use too much of speed, it will cause the batter to splash all over the place, and you don't want that to happen. And due to the quantity of cake I'm baking, using a low speed might not be effective enough. So the best speed to use with your electric mixer is the medium speed level. So while my butter while I'm trying to cream my butter and sugar to ensure it's fluffy and almost white in color, you can see that I'm already breaking my eggs, getting it ready to be added to the ingredient. But before we add the egg, while that is going on, I think it's going to be nice to talk about this ingredient and their measurement. We already know that for the cake we are adding our flour, sugar, eggs, butter, baking powder, milk, vanilla extract, and any other thing you would like to add. For me personally, you can I'll be adding raisins, and I'll also be adding nutmeg to enrich the cake. So these ingredients have their basic purpose. There are some ingredients you can choose to add to your cake, while there are some ingredients that are necessary to ensure that you have a good output. For example, the flour is the backbone of the cake, providing structure. So all-purpose flour is ideal for a variety of baked goods, including cakes. And then sugar. Sugar not only adds sweetness but also moisturizes and add color to the cake. It aids in the creaming process, which incorporates air into the batter. Thirdly is the eggs. So for the eggs, it plays a critical role in binding the ingredients together, adding moisture and contributing to the cake's rise. We have butter, and in this case I'm using unsalted butter. If you want, you can use salted butter. Okay, it's totally enough. But if you're using salted butter, you need to be careful when adding salt so your cake does not get too salty. And I would strongly recommend that you do not even, if you're going to add, you add just a pinch, or not even adding salt at all if you're using unsalted butter. And the purpose of this, or the purpose of the like I said, with unsalted butter or with butter in general, it adds richness and flavor to the cake, so it helps to create a tender crumb when creamed with sugar. And going to baking powder, so right here I'm adding vegetable oil, which contributes a great level of moisture far more reliably, since it remains liquid at room temperature while butter solidifies. It contributes to the sensation of moistness and therefore provide a layer of moisture to the cake over strict butter based cake. So that is the reason why I'm adding oil to this batter. And you can see it's turning out really good and really nice. It's becoming fluffier, and adding the oil, you can see that the output we are having right now in this very particular aspect of the video uh, shows, or is an evidence that with the oil it becomes more fluffier and even whiter, which is what we are actually looking for in our cake. All right, so it's time to add our eggs. um, I will recommend you add your eggs one at a time, ensuring each egg is fully incorporated before adding the next. But if you have become an expert and you really don't mind, like the way I did in my own video right here, you can easily pour it, but make sure you have it on low speed. You can see I have my speed level at low speed so it doesn't splash all over the place, and also to enable it incorporate properly. And if you really are this kind of person that is so concerned about having this very white cake, it's recommended you remove the yolk so you can have this white cake. But for me, I want something that it's something that looks creamy, in the sense that I have this yellowish color, the touch of a yellowish color added to my cake. And at the same time, I want my cake to be a little bit dense. So with the yolk also makes the cake to be dense to some level. So I want this cake that is fluffy, soft, and a little bit dense. So that is the reason why I'm adding the yolk. But if you want a very fluffy cake that is light and at the same time that is fluffy, then you can remove the yolk to enable that texture you are looking for. So while this is still going on, let's go back to talking about our ingredient. Earlier I was talking about the ingredient I am going to add to this cake. So I think we still need to talk about some of the ingredients which I have not actually talked about, and what they are and their purpose for this cake. So now let's talk about baking powder. It is a leavening agent and is crucial for the cake to rise. It releases carbon dioxide when moistened and heated, causing the cake to expand. So for the milk, what it does is to hydrate the dry ingredient and also contribute to the cake's richness. For flavors or for flavor, I will be using vanilla extract. Like I've already mentioned, it adds a layer of flavor and complexity, including aromatic quality to the cake. And that is what it basically does to the cake. And then in addition to that, I will be adding a little bit of nutmeg, just a little bit, to add a touch of flavor and complexity, like I mentioned, aromatic quality, like the vanilla flavor. So that is also optional. If you want, you can add. If you want, you don't have to.